Good morning and welcome back. I hope you're listening in a calm moment today. Let's start slowly. When you think about your morning today, what word would you use to describe how it feels?
Good morning. If I had to choose one word, I would say quiet. Not silent, but quiet in a comfortable way. There's no rush yet, and that makes my thoughts feel lighter.
That's a nice distinction. Quiet but not silent. Why do you think quiet moments feel so rare these days?
Because we're surrounded by noise all the time. Phones, messages, notifications, and expectations. Even when nothing is happening, our minds stay busy. Quiet feels unfamiliar, so people avoid it without realizing.
And when people avoid quiet, what do you think they lose?
They lose awareness. Quiet moments help us notice how we feel and what we need. Without that awareness, we just react all day. That reaction mode is exhausting.
That exhaustion shows up a lot when people talk about learning English. Many learners feel tired before they even start. Why do you think that happens?
Because learning English often feels like pressure instead of curiosity. People think they should already be better. They carry expectations instead of openness. That mental weight makes learning feel heavy.
So the problem isn't English itself, but how people approach it.
Exactly. English is just a tool, but when it's connected to fear or comparison, it becomes stressful. When it's connected to daily life, it becomes natural.
Let's talk about daily life then. How can English fit naturally into someone's everyday routine?
By connecting English to simple actions, thinking about what you're doing, what you're feeling, or what you plan to do next. These thoughts already exist, you just change the language. That way, English becomes part of life, not extra work.
Some learners worry their English thoughts are too simple.
Simple thoughts are perfect for beginners. Complexity comes later. Fluency grows from comfort, not difficulty. When learners feel comfortable, they speak more.
Speaking is still the hardest part for many people. Why is speaking more intimidating than listening?
Because speaking feels public. Listening is private. You can make mistakes silently, but speaking feels like exposure. People worry about being judged.
Do you think people judge learners as much as learners imagine?
Not at all. Most people are focused on themselves. Learners are usually much harder on themselves than anyone else is. That realization can be very freeing.
I agree. Let's talk about mistakes again, because this topic keeps coming back. Why do mistakes feel emotional instead of neutral?
Because language is tied to identity. When someone makes a mistake, they don't think, that sentence was wrong. They think, I'm bad at English. That emotional connection makes mistakes feel personal.
How can learners separate mistakes from identity?
By seeing mistakes as information. A mistake shows what the brain is working on. It's not a reflection of intelligence. It's part of the learning process.
That perspective can really change someone's confidence. Confidence seems to be a key theme today.
Yes, confidence changes everything. Confident learners cry more, they speak more, listen more, and improve faster. Confidence grows from repetition, not perfection.
Let's slow down again and come back to mornings. Why do mornings feel like a good time for learning and reflection?
Because the mind is less cluttered. There's less emotional noise from the day. Morning thoughts often set the emotional tone. If learners start gently, they carry that calm forward.
What would a gentle English morning look like?
Listening to a short conversation, repeating a few sentences, or simply reminding yourself that learning is happening. Nothing intense, just connection.
That sounds very different from traditional studying.
Yes, and that's why it works long term. Traditional studying often feels heavy. Gentle exposure feels sustainable. Sustainable learning lasts.
Many learners quit not because they can't learn, but because they feel tired.
Exactly. Mental fatigue is the real enemy. When learning feels supportive instead of demanding, people continue naturally.
Let's imagine someone listening right now while preparing for work. They feel unsure about their English. What do you want them to feel after listening?
I want them to feel calmer. I want them to feel that they're not behind. Learning English is not a race. It's something you grow into slowly.
That message alone can change someone's day.
Yes, Sometimes encouragement is more useful than instruction. A calm mind learns better than a pressured one.
We've talked about calm, confidence, and daily habits. How do all these ideas connect in the long run?
They connect through identity. When learners see themselves as someone who is learning English, consistency appears. Learning becomes part of who they are, and habits grow naturally from identity.
That's a powerful idea. Learning becomes personal, not forced.
Exactly. And when learning is personal, it stays.
This conversation feels like something people can return to many times. That's the goal. Not to rush, but to accompany learners, to remind them that they're doing okay. Thank you for starting this new conversation with me. Thank you, and thank you to everyone listening and staying present. Take this calm energy into your day. Be patient with yourself, and keep learning English, one gentle conversation at a time. As we continue this conversation, I want to stay with this calm feeling for a moment. Sometimes people think learning needs energy and excitement, but calm feels more sustainable. How do you personally balance calm and motivation?
For me, calm comes first. When I feel calm, motivation appears naturally. If I try to force motivation without calm, I burn out quickly. Calm gives me clarity, and clarity gives me direction.
That's an interesting way to see it. So instead of asking, how do I motivate myself? Maybe the question is, how do I calm myself?
Exactly. When the mind is calm, learning doesn't feel like a battle. It feels like exploration. That shift changes everything for English learners.
Exploration sounds much more inviting than studying. How can learners turn English into something they explore instead of something they fear?
By lowering the stakes. Instead of thinking, I must speak correctly, they can think, let me see how this sounds. Curiosity removes fear. When learners become curious, they stop judging themselves so harshly.
Judgment is a big issue. Many learners judge every sentence they speak. What effect does that have over time?
It creates tension. That tension makes people speak less, not more. And the less they speak, the more distant English feels. It becomes something separate from daily life.
So the goal is to bring English closer, not keep it at a distance.
Yes, English should feel familiar, like a friend you meet every day, not someone you only see during stressful moments.
I really like that image. Let's talk about listening, because this is a listening-focused podcast. How does listening help learners even when they don't understand everything?
Listening trains the ear. Even without full understanding, the brain absorbs rhythm, intonation, and structure. Over time, familiar sounds become meaningful. That process happens naturally, without effort.
So understanding comes after familiarity.
Yes, that's why repeated listening is powerful. Each time you listen, something new becomes clear. It's like seeing the same place from a different angle.
Some learners feel frustrated when they don't understand everything immediately.
That frustration is normal, but complete understanding is not the goal at the beginning. Comfort with the language is. Comfort grows from comfort.
That's reassuring. Let's talk about daily routines again. How can learners build English into routines without feeling overwhelmed?
By attaching English to existing habits. For example, listening while making coffee, or repeating sentences during a walk. You don't create a new habit, you connect English to an old one. That makes consistency easier.
That approach feels very realistic. No extra pressure, just gentle integration.
Exactly. Pressure makes habits break. Gentleness makes them last.
Let's move to another common issue, comparison. Many learners compare themselves to fluent speakers online. How does that affect motivation?
It damages it. Comparison creates unrealistic expectations. People forget that fluent speakers also started as beginners. Everyone's journey looks slow from the inside.
That's a powerful reminder. Progress feels slow because we live inside it.
Yes. When you look back months later, you often realize how much has changed. But day to day, the change is subtle.
Subtle change is easy to miss.
It is. That's why patience is such an important skill for learners. Patience allows progress to happen without pressure.
Let's talk about speaking confidence again. What role does voice play in confidence?
A big role. Speaking slowly and clearly can increase confidence immediately. Learners often rush because they're nervous. Slowing down helps both the speaker and the listener.
So speed is not fluency.
Not at all. Fluency is comfort, not speed. Clear, calm speech is more effective than fast, tense speech.
That's an important lesson. Let's imagine a learner speaking slowly and calmly. What changes for them emotionally?
They feel more in control. Their breathing slows and their thoughts become clearer. Confidence grows because they're no longer fighting the language. They're cooperating with it.
Cooperating with the language. That's a beautiful phrase.
Language works with us when we stop forcing it. Learning becomes a partnership, not a struggle.
As we continue, I want to touch on something deeper. Learning a language can change how people see themselves. Have you noticed that?
Yes, very much. As learners gain confidence, they often feel more open in general. They're more willing to express ideas and connect with others. Language growth often mirrors personal growth.
That connection is powerful. Learning English becomes more than just words.
Exactly. It becomes about expression, confidence, and identity. That's why patience and kindness are so important.
Let's slow down again before we move on. If someone pauses this podcast right now, what feeling do you hope stays with them?
A sense of calm, a feeling that they're allowed to take their time, and reassurance that learning doesn't need to hurt to work. Those feelings can carry them through the day.
That's a wonderful place to be. Let's keep going gently from here. As we come to the end of today's conversation, I want to thank you for staying with us. This wasn't a fast talk or a lesson full of rules. It was simply a space to slow down, reflect, and stay connected to English.
Yes, thank you for listening. If you're still here, it means you chose to give yourself a calm moment today. That choice matters more than you might realize.
We hope this conversation reminded you that learning English doesn't need to feel heavy. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect.
You only need to continue, gently and consistently. Even listening quietly is already part of learning. Every small moment adds up.
As you go on with your day, try to carry this calm feeling with you. Speak kindly to yourself. Trust your pace.
And remember, progress often happens quietly. Just because you can't see it yet doesn't mean it's not there.
Thank you for spending part of your morning with English for Beginners Daily. We're glad you're here.
Take care. Stay patient with yourself and keep learning, one calm conversation at a time.